There is traction on Kevin Durant trade scenarios, and there are some teams that are motivated to get a deal done sooner rather than later. And so we'll see. Will something happen here before the NBA draft? Does this linger into June 25th, 26th, or closer to that NBA draft period? But those are the 5 teams where the Suns are most focused at. There are some wild card suitors as well, but what this could end up coming down to is he's on an expiring contract upwards of $50 million. So is this all going to be contingent on him accepting a long-term deal? Will there be a team that simply swings for him, gets him in the mix, and just sees, can we make it to the finals? How deep can we go? I've been saying it for the last several months. Which team believes they're a Kevin Durant away from winning a championship? That's what this could come down to. He is by far the biggest available domino left on the market.
And that's going to crystallize here between now, possibly the NBA draft, or could it extend into the days and weeks following that? But remember, Kevin Durant, he's going to turn 37 in September. He's not slowing down, though. When you look at his numbers, 26.6 scoring average, if we show the full screen right now, for a player aged 36 or older, trailing a pair of legends, right? LeBron James seasons here. When you look at his numbers, they're pretty remarkable. You can see why Shams is terming this as which team is a Kevin Durant away, because he's still that potent of a player. This is the big question. Where should he end up? And big questions, they require big lists.
Oh, hey, Sean.
They got a song?
Yeah, they got a song. But listen, here's the thing, right? You like it as bumping out. I'm gonna be.
It's a nice little beat.
And I get it. This is your first time being a part of this segment.
They got a song? I literally didn't know.
Hold on.
Carter makes the beat.
Hold on. This is not your list. This is not Danny's list or Malika's list. They know this. You will speak when spoken to, and you will bring the necessary energy that it requires. Otherwise, you will not be part of this segment again. Okay? It's big perks, big list of best destination, of dreams destination for Kevin Durant. Coming in at number 5, put it up there. Bam! This might surprise a lot of y'all, maybe not. The San Antonio Spurs. You know why? Because they got culture. They got Victor Wembanyama. They got De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. They got the pieces there. KD could go there and actually elevate this team to be in the postseason and compete for a title. We know Victor is young, but he has an old soul. He wants to win now. You have a young stud, an evil genius, and the coach that they have right now. San Antonio is number 5 on the list. DG, your bow-legged ass. Give me some energy.
Now welcome to the board today. Give me some
energy up
energy.
here,
That's
boy.
a low.
Bam!
Put it up there.
All right.
I said, put it up there.
There you go.
The Houston Rockets. You know why? They got a lot of great assets. So you could give up a lot while still remaining and keeping a Şengün, Tari Eason, Amen Thompson, and you have a coach in Ime Udoka who is not going to stand for anything else but holding Kevin Durant and this team accountable. This team finished second in the Western Conference last year, took Golden State to a 7-game series. They're on the rise. Malika, give me some energy.
Bam!
I like that. Bam! Put it up there. The Minnesota. And man said KD is his favorite player. We saw their connection when they were down there in the Olympics. What did Anthony Edwards need this postseason? He needed a guy to take the pressure off him, especially when they got to the Western Conference Finals, a certified number 2 that could go get buckets so it could open it up for Anthony Edwards. Coming in at number 2. Shams, remember, you better bring the energy. Bring the energy, damn it.
Bam!
There we go. There we go.
I got you.
The Detroit Pistons.
Whoa.
Why not?
I like it.
Why wouldn't you want to go
like
play
it.
with Cade Cunningham? Did you see what they did last year? They have the assets. They have J.B. Bickerstaff who established a culture there, right? You bring KD there alongside Cunningham with the way that the East is wide open going into next season. I actually like that. Coming in at number 1. I'm putting it up there. Bam! Put it up there loud. The Knicks.
Oh, man.
The Knicks. They just went to the Eastern Conference Finals. You talking about putting Kevin Durant alongside of Jalen Brunson. Forget whatever else is over there. Carl Anthony, Jalen Brunson and KD alone, right? We're talking about JB, who's one of the best, if not showed the best Eastern Conference player, the best player in the Eastern Conference. You put him alongside with Kevin Durant in New York City. The Big Apple is going to be lit again. Shams, great job. This is my list. Big perks, big list of dream Durant destination.
I just wonder if Detroit, again, the timeline conversation, the age conversation, if that is one that fits. But what type of player? I mean, they're getting we showed the numbers before. What type of player would Kevin Durant be for one of these teams?
I mean, we all know he can score the ball, and he's very great at that. I mean, at 37, we have to see how his body's going to hold up. But he gives you that killer. He gives you that finisher that Houston is looking for. San Antonio is younger. New York is looking for that too, but I don't think it changes these groups defensively. And I think you have to give up too much to get him. So it's going to be hard to stay afloat or stay in that contention when you get a player like this, because you have to give up an OG Anunoby or a Josh Hart or a Mitchell Robinson for a New York Knicks team. Minnesota would make sense, but they would have to deplete a lot of their bench and their roster. So yes, he's a great offensive threat, but I don't know if this helps these groups get over the edge defensively.
Well, one thing that Shams reported that I thought was really interesting in all of this is that the Phoenix Suns are working with Kevin Durant and with Rich Kleiman in trying to find a mutual partner here. So it's not just the return package that the Suns get, right, Shams? It's also finding a place for KD.
Yeah, it's sifting through the options that are there, right? And that's what I reported yesterday is the Suns have gotten offers. They're having conversations with interested teams and working with Rich Kleiman, Kevin Durant's longtime business partner, on figuring out what makes sense for him, what makes sense for them as an organization. And then, again, it takes two to tango. So which team steps up out of this mix? Could there be a wild card team as well? Because, you know, especially when you look at the Eastern Conference, if you're a team like a Miami, do you feel like this conference is wide open? That's another thing that I've heard in the last few days is there a team in the East, particularly that believes they are a Kevin Durant away?
If I'm a team and I'm trying to get Kevin Durant, I would approach with caution. I would not give up the house to bring in Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, Kevin Durant is an all-time great. Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer that I've ever seen with my own two eyes. But over the past few years, Kevin Durant is not a needle mover. He's not moving the needle. He is not moving. We could go how we want to go, but history is telling us from his Brooklyn stint to now his Phoenix stint, we thought that these were championship caliber teams.
I don't know. I'm going to toe away.
I'm with you in certain situations, but there are situations where he can be a big needle mover, like a Golden State. Where
he don't want to go to Golden State, though.
As much as he doesn't want to be there, he doesn't have to be a leader there. He has Draymond there. You don't have to be the alpha. He can be a scorer and be alongside Steph and Draymond. And if they could keep Jimmy with that makes them a really good group. But they probably have to give up Jimmy and Kuminga or whoever else in company to get him.
But that's what being a Kevin Durant away means, right? It's about looking at the fit with the team that he is coming into, not just what everybody else is giving up, and making that calculation. As Shams is saying, this could go on a couple more days, this could go on a couple more weeks, and we will be here every step of the way.
Well, there's a couple of things we have to remember here. Number one, we have to remember that Kevin Durant makes $55 million. And to put a trade like that together, you're going to need a significant number of high-dollar players. And so when you're looking at Durant's choices, if he's truly going to be able to get a say here, you have to have a good team on the other side of a Durant trade that he would be interested in. The second thing is that he only has 1 year left on his contract. So as he chooses which team he may favor, it may come down to which one of these teams have interest in giving him a $100 million contract extension he is eligible for. So you have to compute that. Once I've said all that, point out that the teams that fit that bill the most are teams like San Antonio and Houston, who could make this trade and on the other side of it have a roster that could compete for the highest titles, the highest stuff in the league. But those teams are on different timelines because their teams are built with players in their mid to early 20s, whereas Durant is 37. It may not fit the same timeline where they would invest $100 million into him. So this is complicated, and I expect other teams that were not on this list to remain in the bidding here, and this could go a number of different directions.
Jay, Will, when it comes to KD, I always turn to you. I personally feel that the best fit is Minnesota. Number one, it's like Outlaws, right? It's like Tupac and Snoop on the album cover. I mean, that is Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant. USA Basketball was an incredible time for them. You saw their bond continue to mature. Anthony Edwards does not call any player in the world his favorite player. He's one of the most competitive dudes you ever met. He'll call KD that. And Mark Lore, Alex Rodriguez, new ownership in Minnesota. If it's a year deal, I would sign KD to an extension because it helps Anthony Edwards get to the next level. He's a superstar, but Anthony Edwards can become a supernova if he has KD by his side. What do you think?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, 100% KD and Ant-Man makes the most sense, right? They're both two players that just talks about ball. That's all they want to do is hoop. Forget all the other stuff. It's just about basketball. KD has been like that his entire career. Ant-Man is coming around to that with him saying, I don't want to be the face, I just want to hoop. It's a perfect relationship.
Hey, man, I think y'all both said it back.
That's it. So that's where you're looking.
Man, it's between them and the Knicks. Like, they both have the right assets when you come, like, matching the money up, right? Like, they have Julius Randle, a couple other guys that's making a significant amount of money that you can match that up with. Like Wendy said, like, you have to have the pieces.
KD plus fit. Anthony Edwards, in your opinion, equals winning the West next year?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
With ancillary pieces around them, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've been in the conference final each the last 2 years.
Yes, sir.
And then what does KD plus the Knicks equal? Let's live in a world where, and Wendy said it on this show the other day, in order to make a KD trade, the Knicks would probably have to include Karl Towns.
Yeah.
So in a world in which the Knicks traded Karl Anthony Towns for Kevin Durant and whatever else got shifted around in that, does that team go to the finals?
That has to be wait to see when you choose a coach, right? Like, I feel like KD has to go where somewhere.
Oh, we'll get to that part.
System. Like, I can't say he can go to the Knicks.
Are you interested in coaching the Knicks?
Yes, I am.
Put me
up there. Hey, put me up there, man.
I'll say Kevin Durant is still a 1A player.
Yeah.
And I think the odds of them getting to the NBA Finals in the East is way better than what the odds are right now with the way the Knicks are currently
Help me with 1A. Are you saying Jalen Brunson is their 1A right now and Towns is their 1B, and that would switch if Durant was there?
Well, no, I think you have two 1As.
Yeah.
I think you have guys that can
legit.
Yeah, two legit superstars that can do it and carry the load. Right now, at this age, Kevin Durant's not going to take on the main load for the main course of the season, right? But Jalen Brunson can do that, and then they can flip-flop in moments where you need them to be closers. Right. It gives you two multi-dimensional closers and two buckets in the game of basketball in New York City.
Easily.
It's an interesting, Wendy, KD is such an interesting figure, right? He's just a different guy, and it's very difficult to put yourself in his head and know exactly what it is he's looking for. He's moved around so many different times. What is our sense of what he's looking for at this point, and what is our sense, if we have one, of what a timeline on this might be?
I definitely think he's got interest in the Knicks. He had interest in the Knicks going back 6-7 years when he was a free agent in 2019. He chose the Nets, but he's got interest in the Knicks. The reality is this: you're either trading an in your prime all NBA player under long-term controlled contract in Karl Towns, or to make the math work and make it a legal trade, you're probably trading 3 rotation players, 2 high-level rotation players like an OG Anunoby and a Mitchell Robinson, something like that. And so the Knicks are already short on the rotation players. So you have to look at it if you're the Knicks, if on the other side of trading for a $55 million player, are you ready to compete for the whole thing now, instantly? He's 37, you're not building. You could get different opinions on that, but I would just say do not disregard a 20-year-old, in his 20s, all-NBA player that Karl Towns is. That's not a player that you can easily find. They've invested a lot in him, and that's the type of trade that you'd have to make. And, all-NBA player for all-NBA player, I don't know. I don't know if you automatically win that trade.
Now, as we have looked at this thing from the Knicks' perspective, I've said all along, if they can get Giannis, it's worth doing almost anything. Because Giannis is 7 years younger. This is not meant to slight Kevin Durant at all. He's one of the greatest players that ever lived and maybe the best pure scorer that ever lived. But he's going to be 37 years old. If you're the Knicks, do you do it? Do you trade Karl Anthony Towns for Kevin Durant?
I think that's tough right now, man. I think it's like you said, it's the pieces around. If I can get some of those pieces to stay, obviously he's making $55 million. But if I can get some of those pieces to be around without Karl Anthony Towns, for sure I'd make the trade.
And the last thing is, how much do players think about this stuff? I sit here and say, go east, go east, go east. If you're Kevin Durant and you want to win, go east. Do players think that way?
I think, if I'm talking to Kevin Durant circumstance, I think it's the best fit for him. I don't know if it's technically about all winning, right? Like when you talk about his game and like just wanting to play hoop and wanting to score and be happy, right? I don't know if it's all about winning with him. So if I was to dial it back, I think that Minnesota just makes more sense because of the continuity that he has with Ant.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. So, NBA Finals, that's what's happening. Pacers versus OKC Thunder. Good matchup, and yeah, a lot of people thought that the OKC Thunder would have demolished the Pacers, but that is not the case here, not by a long shot. So you already know what's going on in the Pacerland, right? let's talk about trades. And why am I talking about trades during the finals? You know, it usually happens after the finals, right? So what's transpiring right now is legitimate, and it will happen. Kevin Durant, this guy right here, Kevin Durant will get traded sometime next week. So where is he going to get traded to, and why is he going to get traded? Because of the fact that Phoenix is not going anywhere. Obviously, you have so much money tied up in Bradley Beal. Devin Booker is about to get $70 million per, right? I don't agree with that, but it is what it is. And Kevin Durant. So those three are making like something, maybe next year, maybe if they stay together, 180 at least for three guys that didn't even make the playoffs. That's a hard pill to swallow if you're the Phoenix Suns owner, but at the same time, he doesn't care, right? He just cares about building a contender. And he realizes that he needs more assets to go along with Devin Booker, right? So he's got to trade Kevin Durant. Now, who is in the driver's seat for Kevin Durant trade-wise? The sleeper teams here are the Clippers and the Toronto Raptors. And then you have the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, the Miami Heat, and the New York Knicks. And I'm not saying that, and Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's not forget that. So let's take a look at this. If you have Minnesota Timberwolves, you pair them up with Anthony Edwards. Could be good. But then again, who else are you going to give up, right? Then San Antonio, you're pairing him up with Wemby. Okay. If you take Houston Rockets, you're pairing him up with Jalen Green. We'll get to that in a minute. New York Knicks, obviously Jalen Brunson. The Miami Heat, I'm guessing whoever they don't give up, they're going to pair him up with Kevin Durant. So in my opinion, it's down to, because I keep hearing these rumors that New York doesn't have enough assets. You got to take a look at it from the Phoenix Suns perspective. Who has the best assets? And obviously you're going to do right by Kevin Durant because the guy's an all-star, superstar. Where does he want to go, right? You got those two into consideration. Leads me to believe that it's down to two teams, San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets. Now, that's just my opinion. It might change, it might not, but in fact, I'm kind of leaning toward the Houston Rockets, right? But it all depends if Houston wants to do that deal, because Houston is not on the same timeline as Kevin Durant. I mean, it could be San Antonio, but I'm hearing rumors that San Antonio doesn't want to deal with a 37-year-old, is about to turn 37, 37-year-old Kevin Durant, right? They have a young Wemby, they have a young Fox. Why would they want a guy that was going to slow them down and take away some of their assets as well? So you have a lot of moving parts, as you saw in the videos. Leave a comment in the comment section and tell me who you think that Kevin Durant should be paired with and where Kevin Durant is going to go. Do you guys agree with the Houston Rockets as the number one team to trade for Kevin Durant? Do you actually believe that Kendrick Perkins' list where Detroit Pistons should, I mean, you know, they have the assets, they have the flexibility, they can get the job done, but does Kevin Durant really want to go to Detroit, right? I'm thinking Kevin Durant wants to go to a contender. Could it be Houston Rockets? Could it be the San Antonio Spurs? Or could it be the Minnesota Timberwolves? I don't think it's the Knicks anymore, because the Knicks do not have the assets, and I thought it was the Knicks like last week, and now they're going from coach to coach to coach. Nobody wants to coach. Nobody wants to give the opportunity to coach the Knicks. And quite frankly, if you're Kevin Durant, and you don't even know who your coach is, why would you want to go there, right? So I think that is a big hurdle for the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. I think it's just down to 2 teams. I think it's either gonna and a close third, me being Minnesota Timberwolves. I think it's either Houston or the San Antonio Spurs. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. Is it going to be any of the teams that I mentioned? Houston, San Antonio, Miami, New York, or Minnesota? Or could it be the Clippers or the Raptors, who's just going to swing for the fences? And, you know, maybe he doesn't re-sign with them. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But this is the deal. He will get traded for sure. This is not a lie. It's going to happen. Stuff is moving. So leave a comment in the comment section. As always, Jag from Jaggy Sports.